Let's start here in Pennsylvania, where Bob Casey seems to be holding his own fairly well. Following this debate last night, what are the polls telling you, and what's Bob Casey doing right?
Well, I think Republicans do have this race tightening, and I think we've seen these other states, Wisconsin in particular, which of course we shifted last week, sort of move more in line with the presidential numbers. I think there is just still that the Casey brand is still strong in Pennsylvania. That his comes from a political family. His father was governor. He's been able to sort of outrun where Harris is. But I mean, Pennsylvania is not a state that Democrats feel super confident about at the presidential level, and I think that runs on down just simply because, while they're leading in polling, you look at things like Republicans cutting into their registration advantage. I do think that McCormick is coming more in line with Trump's numbers, and that could be good for him. Certainly, that's where he wants to be as the presidential race continues to tighten. But I think this is one that, again, we could see tightening in these last few days.
Well, that's interesting. We were just showing our TV viewers and our viewers on YouTube. The most recent New York Times Siena poll has Bob Casey up by 4 points. This is far from a commanding lead when you factor in the margin of error, certainly here. Exactly. But, Jessica, there's a lot of talk about ticket splitting in states like Pennsylvania. I'm not sure I understand it. Could there be a world in which Kamala Harris wins the presidency and Dave McCormick wins the Senate race, or it just doesn't work like that?
I mean, I think that's a little harder for me to see because I do think that we see Casey running ahead of Harris. But, again, if Trump wins Pennsylvania, though, that's certainly good news for McCormick. I mean, could Casey still win if Trump wins the state? I could see that as well. Yeah. And we've seen such a decrease in ticket splitting where in 2016, every single Senate race went the same way as the presidential race. In 2020, only Susan Collins managed to win re-election. But when we're talking about races that are being decided by just a few points, that is a delta in which we could see a number of ticket splitters because we are seeing a wider delta, particularly in Arizona, where actually Trump is polling the best of any of the swing states. But yet we continue.
Santa Cruz versus Toyota. Look what Santa Cruz.
We're all swimming in the same media pool here, I think, Jessica. I have to turn attention from Pennsylvania to Ohio based on what you just said, because Sherrod Brown seems to be performing pretty well in his contest. And this is a state that's otherwise looking pretty red. Could we have a world in which Donald Trump wins Ohio as expected and Sherrod Brown keeps his seat?
Well, again, Susan Collins was sort of at 7 points she was able to outrun Biden by. I think that's sort of the universe we're looking at. And I think if anyone can do it, it's Sherrod Brown. Trump won the state twice by 8. I've seen some polls with it slightly closer at the presidential level. Certainly that bodes well for Sherrod Brown. Moreno has been, I think, a weaker candidate than Republicans expected him to be. And he is sort of underperforming where Trump's numbers are in the state. So he needs more so than anyone to decrease those ticket splitters. But Brown is still getting independents and a significant number of Republicans. I think this one is going to be very, very close.
So let's go to Texas for a moment. We were talking earlier with our Texas bureau chief about the Senate race here. This is supposed to be a runaway for Ted Cruz, and this looks like a 4-point race as well, based on what we've seen from the University of Houston. Again, Senator Ted Cruz, Democratic Congressman Colin Allred, they did get together last evening for the big debate here, fighting for the U.S. Senate seat. Here's a piece of what they had to say when it got to the matter, Jessica, of January 6th.
Congressman Allred is happy to talk about those who committed acts of violence on January 6th, but you don't hear him talking about the Antifa and Black Lives Matter riots that burned cities across this country. If you commit an act of violence, you should go to jail, and there should be no political favoritism in that regard.
I took off my suit jacket, and I was prepared to defend the House floor from the mob. At the same time, after he'd gone around the country lying about the election, after he'd been the architect of the attempt to overthrow that election, when that mob came, Senator Cruz was hiding in a supply closet. And that's okay. I don't want him to get hurt by the mob. I really don't.
Pretty poignant moment, Jessica, memorable. There were several in that debate last night. But if Beto couldn't do it, can Allred do it?
I think there's a couple of things that make this race a little different than 2018. I think it is tougher in a presidential year, but I think abortion, the Dobbs decision had not been decided at this point. Allred has made abortion very much a center point. That was probably one of the tensest moments that they had in the debate last night.